Hey guys, it's Mike here, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the newest animated movie from Sony. Now, I've been a fan of Spider-Man since I was a kid. I used to watch the animated series, and I've read the comics from time to time. And of course, I've also seen all of the live-action movies. So with that being said, I didn't quite know what to make of this movie after seeing the first trailer. However, it looked interesting, and I heard some good things from people that I follow. So I decided to check it out. And upon seeing the movie, I'm glad that I did, because this ended up being better than I expected. So the plot of the film follows Miles Morales, a New York teen who is adjusting to a new school. One day, much like Spider-Man, Miles is bit by a spider and gains superpowers. Just then, he encounters the real Spider-Man and uncovers a plot by the Kingpin to open up a portal to other parallel universes. This leads to Miles meeting other Spider-Men and teaming up with them to foil the plot which could destroy everything they know. So let's get into the characters. Miles Morales is the main character of the film, and as fans know from the comics, he's the Spider-Man of an alternate continuity. However, in this movie, he doesn't start out as Spider-Man, but instead, this serves as an origin for the character. So his story here focuses on him attaining his powers, some of which are quite different from the original Spider-Man, as well as having his own tragedies which push him down that path. And the one who serves as Miles' biggest teacher is the Peter Parker from an alternate universe. And I like this Spider-Man's portrayal. He's basically a down-on-his-luck, jaded Spider-Man who's been in the game for a long time and had a lot of things go wrong in his life, such as his relationship with Mary Jane. He's even out of shape come this movie. However, by coming to Miles' world and helping him, he's able to reflect on his past mistakes, which helps him to understand what it means to be Spider-Man again. Their dynamic is one of the best parts of the movie. However, there are other Spider-Men who join them along the way. These include Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, Gwen Stacy's Spider-Woman, and even a cartoon pig named Spider-Ham. And the movie did a good job of making all of them distinct and entertaining in their own ways. Learning about their backstories was fun, and while they're not as fleshed out as Miles or Peter, they each bring something to the team. Although it's still a little odd to see the more cartoon-inspired characters given the style and tone of this film. The voice acting cast in this film also has a bunch of familiar faces, with Jake Johnson, Chris Pine, Haley Steinfeld, Zoe Kravitz, and Mahershala Ali lending their voices. Although my favorite has to be Nicolas Cage as Noir Spider-Man. It's always fun to see him in a movie like this, and he did a good job here. And of course, there are villains in this movie who tend to be hit or miss. There's the Kingpin, who serves as the primary antagonist, the Prowler, and oddly, a female Doc Ock. The motivations for them was largely thin, especially for Doc Ock, although there is a twist with one of them during the later parts of the film. I thought that Kingpin was especially generic here, which isn't helped by most of us seeing a great portrayal of the character recently in Daredevil Season 3 from Vincent D'Onofrio. Although at least he's given some form of motivation, and I kind of like his massive portrayal here. It's kind of Tim Burton-esque, although it's questionable at points if he's supposed to have superpowers considering some of what he does. Although that's only one of a few things that don't totally add up in this film, and some things certainly could have been better explained. The movie is also loaded with references that comic book fans will enjoy, such as for characters, and then there's even comics appearing on the screen. The movie itself is done in a very comic book inspired way, with panels appearing on screen as well as showing speech bubbles and narration text. With that being said, I should probably get into the animation style itself. Although I am a bigger fan of hand-drawn 2D animation, I think that they did a good job here with the style that they had. I thought maybe I would have had an issue with it from the trailers, especially considering how choppy it looked, but eventually you get used to it, and it's even able to show off some really interesting visuals using it. Although I still wonder if perhaps the movie would have been better had they simply stuck to 2D. If nothing else, the movie does have an interesting visual style. So overall, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a fun animated comic book movie and a good Spider-Man movie overall. It has fun characters, interesting dynamics, some good action, and an interesting visual style. I wouldn't quite call it the best Spider-Man movie like some other people have, but it's one that I'd certainly recommend to Spider-Man fans and families alike. I'm going to give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, so have you seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and if so, what did you think about it? Let me know down below. Also, if you're new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you can see all of my videos right away when they come out. And make sure to stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Yeah, and you better subscribe.